Oh, God, dear! Oh, look, man, stay down, please. I'm so sorry about your friends.
We have different faces, but inside, we are same, but different.
Upgrade and Venom are essentially the same movie. However, there's one slight difference that sets them apart from each other. One movie has great action sequences, phenomenal performances from all the actors, and a plot you actually care about. And the other movie is Venom. But let's start with addressing the obvious similarities. Both movies came out in 2018, and since Hollywood had a buy one get one deal that year on guys who look like Kit Harington during Game of Thrones' peak, both protagonists ended up looking nearly identical. The premises of both movies involve a regular guy who gets his body taken over by a sentient being, and that entity ends up giving them superhuman abilities. With those abilities, the protagonist hunts down the main villain, kills lots of bad guys along the way, and the movie ends with one big showdown with the final boss. Now, I know you're probably thinking, wow, these really are the same movie. But aside from everything I just listed, these films could not be more different, because even though the shell is the same, it's what's inside that matters. So let's talk about that. Right off the bat, when Upgrade starts, we're given valuable character info. We find out right away that Gray is a mechanic in a technologically evolved world that doesn't really need guys like him anymore. But he fixes cars not because it pays the bills, but because that's what he loves to do. We learn about the type of guy he is, not through painful exposition dumps, but through natural dialogue between Gray and his wife, as well as beautifully placed shots of the camera panning around the garage, showing us the things that Gray holds most dear. We learn more about Gray's ideals in 2 lines of dialogue than we ever do about Eddie Brock in the entire Venom movie. When Gray is introduced to STEM for the first time, he says this.
You look at that widget and you see the future. I look at that thing and see 10 guys on an unemployment line.
This instantly makes Gray a likable and relatable character. He's an old-fashioned guy that clings on to the past, and he rejects the direction the world is going in because he finds more value in the honest work that 10 guys can offer than in the efficiency one computer can provide. Despite his resistance to it, Gray is dragged into the technological world quite literally kicking and screaming. From there, the plot and Gray's motivations are easy to understand and even easier to get behind, which is to find his wife's killers and get his revenge. Now, let's contrast this with the plot, and I use that term very loosely here, of Venom, which kicks off by introducing us to the main antagonist, sort of. It's this evil symbiote named Riot, but we don't know that until the very end because he disappears for half the movie, hops bodies like he's playing musical chairs, and only pops back in at the very end to fight Venom or something, because I don't know what else they could possibly be doing. When we finally meet Eddie Brock, we learn that he's a reporter, he rides a motorcycle, and that's about it. He's a reporter that rides a motorcycle. Venom doesn't even fully transform until nearly an hour into this movie. You'd think in that amount of time we'd learn a thing or two about this guy. The only time we even get a sliver of what Eddie's ideals or motivations are is when he's told to interview generic evil billionaire number 47 and Eddie objects by saying,
"He's a crook."
That's it. That's the depth of his journalistic integrity. Venom straight up tells him,
"Yo dude, me and my homies are taking over the world and there's nothing you can do about it."
And Eddie's just like,
"Oh yeah man, for sure. You want some chocolate by the way?"
Then, at the end of the movie, when it finally comes down to doing what he was literally sent to Earth to do, Venom's like,
"You know what? I don't want to do that anymore."
He then betrays his entire species and nearly dies protecting Eddie, all because reasons? And then the movie just ends. Eddie doesn't become this great hero with a purpose, using his powers for good. The next 2 movies are literally just him wandering around like a homeless person, talking to himself and waiting for things to just happen. So to recap, Upgrade gives us a protagonist with clear motivations, emotional depth, and an actual arc, while Venom gives us a guy who rides a motorcycle, loses his job, and then just kind of rolls with whatever nonsense is thrown at him. But here's the real kicker. Even if Venom's script was as tight as Upgrade's, it still wouldn't work. Why? Because the acting in these 2 movies is night and day. One feels raw and believable, and the other feels like, well, it feels like Tom Hardy showed up to set every day half awake and just said, screw it, let's get weird. Logan Marshall Green should have honestly won an Oscar or an award of some kind for his performance in this film. After Gray gets STEM implanted into his neck, Logan's movements make it feel like there really is something controlling his body, even though Gray is still technically the one in the driver's seat. One of my favorite scenes in the entire film, one that truly showcases the incredible acting and directing, is when Gray returns home from the hospital and he struggles to adjust to life as a quadriplegic. His mother now has to care for him, including bathing him and cutting his hair. As she does, the weight of everything he's lost becomes unbearable, and he breaks down into tears. He doesn't want her to see him cry, so he tries to turn away, but he can't even move his head. There's no dialogue, just raw, unfiltered emotion. And that's one of the main differences between Venom and Upgrade. This is the face of a man who has truly lost everything, and this is the face of a man on acid.
You're on acid.
And it's not just Tom Hardy's acting that was uncharacteristically bad in this film. Everyone looks like they're just phoning it in. Honestly, if the script hadn't explicitly told us that these two had been dating for a really long time, I wouldn't have guessed. And that's probably because the expression on this actress's face does not change for the entirety of this movie. Regardless of whether she's talking on the phone, having a nice dinner with her fiance, or coming face to face with an alien goop monster, this is all we get. For comparison, this is the reaction of a mother seeing her quadriplegic son walk again for the first time. And this is the reaction of a regular old store clerk lady after seeing someone literally get their head bitten off by an alien jello monster.
Eddie? What was that?
Maybe this is just me, but if I saw the slime my sister was playing with last week suddenly grow legs and teeth and start eating people, I'd be out of there faster than Usain Bolt on a 5-hour energy drink. But who knows, maybe getting eaten would have been better than having to spend another minute in this movie. When your production's whole budget is only a fraction of what The Rock spends on baby oil, you have to get creative with the action sequences. The director even talked about having to tape an iPhone to a stunt guy's chest to get cool camera shots like this. The reason Upgrade's fight scenes are so good is because the actors worked tirelessly with stunt coordinators to give us that unique style the movie is famous for. One little detail that I love is that since Stem can only control Gray's movements from the neck down, whenever Stem takes over and starts fighting, he has to physically move Gray's head away from danger using his hands. This is the level of care and attention to detail everyone involved with this project had. No one showed up just for a paycheck. They showed up to give us the best movie experience they could possibly deliver given the limited resources they had. And what did Venom do with its $116 million budget? Well, this. You know they made 3 of these movies, right? I'm pretty sure these guys weren't even on set half the time when these fight scenes were filmed. Now, I probably wouldn't be that upset if it weren't for the fact that we got 2 sequels of blob fights and some of the worst writing and directing I have ever seen put to film, but only 1 Upgrade movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, but since the director wanted it to grow as a cult classic, he said he'd never make a sequel despite all the unanswered questions the movie left us with. Oh, that's fine. yeah, no problem. Let me just talk to him real quick. Kidding. Psych!
You packing up shop? Where you going?
See ya.
What do you mean, see? What are you saying? Where are you going?
In another world, Upgrade would have been the one to get 2 sequels, where we got to explore the fascinating world they built a little more and get the answers to the questions we've been asking for the past 7 years. But hey, maybe that's just a luxury we were never meant to have.
Sorry. We can't let them win.
No! Wait, who's them? What are you talking about? Who's them?
If you haven't seen the movie Upgrade by now, I highly recommend you go watch it. I purposefully left key plot points out of this video so as to not completely spoil the movie for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you got something out of today's video, or even just exhaled a little harder through your nose, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like and subscribe button. And if you like this video, then I know you'll love the one where I break down the perfect actor that was born to play Batman, but never got the chance. Thank you again, and see ya.